Guess who was having so much fun playing the game that they forgot to actually record video for the daggone thing? It was me! Let's talk about Devil May Cry 5.
Whoa!
So it's not a really big leap in logic to say that Devil May Cry 5 is a fun game, right? Like, that's just out there, right? Right, okay, so let's get down to it. Dante Must Combat featuring Ichigo and Orihime, also starring V, the good poetry boy who I will fight to defend, is a single-player action game that is, if you go by every article that exists on every games journalist website, is a slowly dying art form that nobody wants, even though this one has sold 2 million copies. And that's for good reason, because this is such a well-made game. It is fun from beginning to end. You feel extremely powerful as you play one of the 3 main characters, either Dante, like I said before, keep up, Nero, who returns from 4, except this time he does not have his magical demon arm. Instead, the best addition to the franchise, Nico, has made mechanical buster arms that he can swap out by making them explode, which gives him a range of things he can do from... You're only going to use one of the buster arms for the most part. They're all good, but you're going to stick with one. And last but not least is the game's namesake himself, V, who fights completely different than you would expect. Instead of, you know, being like the other 2 style boys in the game, he just he fights with summons. I don't know how words work. He fights with summons and they do most of the dirty work. However, V himself is the one that has to finish him off, which is a really good gameplay change if you're so used to playing Dante or Nero. Like I said before, the game's just really well made and polished. It has, if this was a Nintendo game, I would say this has a Nintendo polish on it, but it has reinvigorated Capcom polish, which I never thought I would say that. I'm glad that the last few games that they've put out have been on such a good high caliber. If I had to say something negative about the game outside of the really pointless microtransactions that they threw in there, I'd say that sometimes playing as V does feel a little off, but that was only during the acclimation period when I was getting used to playing him. Aside from that, there's one really annoying boss fight, and I'm not going to spoil what that is because, you know, it's part of the experience. It's Devil May Cry. You play it, you fight a boss that just gets on your nerves for at least a good 10 minutes, and then you move on. If I had to give this game a grade, I would give it a... What is my metric for grading? Like, buy it, I guess? Like, if you want a numerical grade, I'd give it like a 95, which is an A. I'm just glad that the next game that I plan on reviewing or talking about isn't going to be at all as hard as this one. No, it's going to be harder.